Today's video is going to be tips for maximizing your 340B program. Now, I've done some videos on different aspects of the 340B program, but this one is just going to be on overall tips to make your program more profitable. Now, I'm going to try to be brief because some of these topics I could do a whole separate video on, and actually have done separate videos on some of them. And some of them I could probably talk all day about, but I will try to be brief and just give you some overall tips that will make your program more profitable. So let's jump into it. First off, capture referral prescriptions. This is something that is much easier than many covered entities realize. The profitability on these prescriptions is very lucrative. It's very significant. Now, methods can differ, costs can vary widely. You have to have a good understanding of the laws of the 340B program. You have to have a good understanding of your medical records and what documentation is in there, what's required, and how you have to document that information on the TPA's portal or website. But in the end, it is definitely worth the time and effort put into it because this can be a significant increase in the profitability of your program. I also have on here examining rejected claims for reprocessing. And I did a whole separate video on this that you can watch if you would like on my channel, 340B Max LLC. But name mismatches, missing encounters, incorrect Medicaid identification, and a whole list of other reasons can cause prescriptions to be rejected. And with just a little bit of work, they can be reprocessed as eligible prescriptions. But those are my first two tips for increasing the profitability of your program. Next, I would say is examine the TPA fees. The TPA fees are typically deducted from the money that you receive. So you're getting your money net and you're never actually writing a check to the TPA. Now, there can be mistakes on invoices that can result in overcharges. There can be fee increases that happen annually that stack up and make your TPA fees increase significantly over time that you don't really notice because you're not actually writing a check. You're just getting your money net. So it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your TPA fees and see where they stand relative to the contract and relative to the market conditions. Next is reevaluate encounter data. Encounter data is the data that you are sending with all of your patient visits and you're submitting it up to the TPA. These are typically established at the start of a contract and never re-examined. Re-examining these can be helpful because you can find that there can be items that are missed, either specific encounter types such as maybe telehealth. There can be missing encounters because of new providers or new locations that were added. And it's a good idea to look at it because sometimes the encounter data fails to upload or ingest with the TPA, whether that be for any variety of reasons, whether it be something on their side or your side. Sometimes there are power outages, sometimes system upgrades impacted. But examining the encounter data is a way where you can miss a lot of eligible prescriptions because not all of your encounters are getting uploaded. Next, I've got submitting claims through the ESP portal. The manufacturer restrictions have been the single biggest 340B topic over the last couple of years, and they have had a severe impact on basically every covered entity across the nation. Right now, the only mechanism we have for getting any relief from these manufacturer restrictions is the submission of claims data through the ESP portal. So this is something to look at to try to recapture at least some of the revenue that you may have lost because of the manufacturer restrictions. Next, if your program has a cash card or indigent card program, and I highly recommend that everyone should have a cash card or indigent program, review that program for areas of abuse. The main area of abuse that I see is patients that have a cash or indigent card but also have commercial insurance, and they're using one or the other depending on the cost of the drugs. Generally, the commercial insurance is used when they're buying a generic drug that has a low copay, and they're using the cash card when they're buying a more expensive drug. That's not how the program is intended to work. People can take advantage of it in that way, and it takes careful review and analysis to determine if you have that problem and who those individuals are. But again, look for abuse in your cash card or indigent program. Next is understanding remediation and its impact on your profitability. Remediation is especially prevalent in generic drugs, and the profit margin under 340B for generic drugs is usually pretty thin to begin with. So this is a hidden cost that can severely impact the profitability. Understanding remediation, analyzing it, and determining what action to take is a great way to eliminate a hidden cost to your program and make sure you're getting everything you can out of it. The next tip may seem obvious, but treat your 340B program like it's a separate department. Lots of places talk about the importance of the 340B program and how much they need it to sustain their operations. But a lot of them don't have separate budgets for the 340B program or performance indicators, monthly financial statements, operational and financial goals. They don't have budgets for it. They don't track down variances to budgets. Just like any other significant department in your organization, the 340B program should have all of these things: budgets, operational and financial goals, performance indicators, monthly financial statements. So if you aren't treating your 340B program like it's a separate department, I would highly recommend that, because in most organizations, they would say that this program is financially as important as any department in the hospital. Finally, I've got drug blacklisting, and this is used as a way of excluding specific NDCs that may not be profitable without excluding an entire class of drugs. So, for instance, going back to another concept we just talked about, the remediation, if you have remediation on certain generic drugs that is impacting your profitability, you may want to consider just excluding the NDCs for that generic drug and not excluding all generics across the board. It's a way of using kind of a precision or laser approach to carve out the specific NDCs that you're losing money on or that are costing you money through remediation, without excluding an entire class of drugs. So consider drug blacklisting. And my final tip is, don't be afraid to ask for help. This is Tom Willoughby with 340B Max. My contact information is listed there. Don't be afraid to ask for help. I am only a phone call or email away. I can help with anything in this video and many more ways that I can help your 340B program. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. I am here to help. Thank you for watching, and if you have any suggestions for future videos or have any questions, please leave a comment or shoot me an email. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you.